Hey, so we're all talking about it. I've had so many calls today about it. What does the federal budget conversation from last night mean for me, for my being able to buy property, for me as a first home buyer? There's a lot of uncertainty. So let's try and give you a little bit more certainty while still wanting to see the details that will follow, no doubt, in the next few months and unfortunately probably next few years. What the government is wanting to do is make structural changes to reduce the huge income to purchase price ratio that we're currently seeing. Around the country, the multiples of up to 10 or more times our annual salary to purchase a house is unsustainable. So I think we can all agree that at some point we need to do something to make houses affordable for people. How do we do that? Well, this is what the government's trying to adjust. What I believe they're trying to do is incentivize, and really heavily incentivize, building new houses. So there's a couple tax perks that property investors and even share and other investors have been able to utilize for a long time. Those two main ones are negative gearing and the capital gains tax 50% discount. Okay, so those two tax policies are now being wound back in different ways. However, they're still in place for brand new properties. So for investors who want to make the most of negative gearing, or investors who are looking for that 50% capital gains tax exemption, in order to get that moving forward, you will have to purchase a brand new property that hasn't been lived in. That does also exclude, you can't buy an existing and do knockdown rebuild. It's about building new stock, increasing the supply, and hopefully by increasing the supply in the housing market, we will be able to keep house prices at least the same, if not potentially make them more affordable for people wanting to buy a home to live in. Now, this is going to affect some people. As far as borrowing capacity goes, it's still too early. We don't know what the banks are going to do. If you hadn't signed a contract before 7:30 last night, from now on, from 7:30 last night, there is no more negative gearing benefits. So you cannot negative gear, and by that, and you need to talk to your accountant, this is general advice and just using what the ATO has provided. Negative gearing is where if you're earning, let's say 200 grand a year, you purchase an investment property that's losing 20 grand a year. That 20 grand a year loss in the investment property, you can reduce your $200,000 a year salaried employment, drop that down to 180, and you get a refund on the tax that you've already paid. Now, if we're looking at this with a long-term vision, not much is actually changing. What it's doing is delaying the benefit for a little bit longer. So what's going to happen now is when you purchase an investment property, and let's say you're losing 15 grand a year at the start, and then it goes to 10 grand a year, 5 grand a year. But let's say over the first 5 years, you lose a cumulative $50,000. You then break even for a year, and then over the next 5 years, it starts making money. That $50,000 worth of accrued losses, they don't disappear. Those accrued losses add up and are stored. When the property suddenly becomes positively geared, let's say in 5, 6, 7 years' time, where the income it generates is more than the expenses that it costs to hold, instead of paying tax on that income, what's going to happen is you're going to use that income, that positive gearing is going to be offset by the accrued losses in the past. Same with when you have a capital gains event. If you have accrued $50,000 worth of accrued losses, so the first 5 years of owning the property, that's cost you $50,000 in expenses. When you make the capital gain, you'll be able to offset your capital gain by those accrued losses that you've accrued before. So yes, you will still be able to gear it against future income, but you're not gearing it against your employment income. This should bring a lot of equality into the market, especially for mum and dads where there's two people both earning 120 grand a year, as opposed to one person earning 240 a year, where they were getting disproportionate benefits potentially in the market. So it is going to change things. Is it going to have the desired effect? Yet to be seen. We'll have to wait and see. Is it going to affect you? Maybe. Is it going to affect house prices? Maybe. Hopefully it does stimulate new development, new growth. Unfortunately, there wasn't anything in there that I could see that really stimulated, okay, we're opening up, building new houses. And I think the difficulty is right now with what's happening overseas and inflation, the RBA would have been very upset with the government if the government went and said, great, we're spending all this money on infrastructure, we're building all these new trains, light rail, infrastructure advancements and packages, so we can build more houses, because that would have been counterproductive to what the RBA is trying to control with that inflation. So who knows, maybe that is probably going to be coming in the future. Whether that's the time to do it now, I think maybe is wise that it's not. But things will change. If you want to understand how it affects you personally, book in a meeting to talk with me. I'm always here to help. We'll navigate this together. It is going to be an interesting time, but structural changes need to be done. Hopefully they've got the balance right on this one, but the proof will be in the pudding, and so we'll just have to see. Again, keep positive. We're living in an amazing country. We're very fortunate, and have an amazing evening. Hopefully talk with you soon. Bye.